My galleons will... Oh no!
Guess what, pirates? It's time to do nothing and get rewarded for it, and then possibly moan about that. Twitch drops are back in Sea of Thieves from April 25th till April 28th. That's right, you can get shiny new gear just by watching other people actually play the game. Here's what's up for grabs: the Seasoned Sailor Rapier, for when you want to look deadly but also look like a fan from Wish.com, the Stalwart Sea Dog Cutlass, because clearly one cutlass isn't enough, the Stormy Sea Dog Bucket and Drum, perfect for those drunken dramatic cleanups and sea shanty solos, and of course the Morning Star eye patch for when you want to look mysterious and slightly stupid. All you gotta do is head over to seaofthieves.com/Twitch drops, link your Twitch and Sea of Thieves accounts, and then watch the stream, meaning open it in a tab and totally pay attention the entire time, right? Head over to my Twitch page and follow to be notified when I go live, and I'll see you there. All the information and stuff's in a pinned comments and in this script. It's there. Now, moving on April 24th, which at the time of this video should be tomorrow, Sea of Thieves is finally answering the question nobody asked.
What if we put pigs on islands, but made them spicy?
Boars are coming, and no, they're not here to be your island cuddly pets. These things are wild, cranky, and apparently full of fruit. The Hunter's Call is rolling out new missions that'll have you tracking down these boars across the Sea of Thieves. You'll follow their muddy little footprints, find their wallowing spots, and do your best to not get gored in the face. A noble quest for bacon. Now, these aren't only just one-off missions for the Hunter's Call, boars are also becoming a new ambient threat on several islands. So you're out there, digging up a chest, everything's calm, and suddenly, wham! Out of the bushes comes a 300-pound fruit grenade on legs. And look, I know some folks are going to be like, that's it? Just boars? But this isn't about hunting pigs. This is a surprisingly useful update, especially for us salty old pirates who have been playing since the ocean was pixelated. Boars drop fruit as they walk around, which is free food, just lying there like some weird organic supply crate. It's like the game finally realized we spend half the time looting bananas out of barrels and decided to give us a moving buffet. It'll be immensely useful when low on supplies and chasing after that level 5 gold hoarder with one seafarer's chest. And if you follow their tracks to their wallow, you might just score a nice little stash. Maybe some fruit, maybe a loot pile, maybe both. Maybe it's just mud, who knows? That's the thrill of bacon. It also adds life to the islands. Literally, these boars bring motion, sound, surprise, and mild trauma. It's way more fun than a weird static jellyfish that just floats there silently judging you.
Oh, you missed that shot again. How expected.
So yeah, this might not be the biggest update in the world, but it's got charm, it's goofy, it's useful, it's chaotic in the best way, and anything that lets me yell, "It's boar time!" whilst firing out of a cannon is a win in my book. Also, in this update, Sea of Thieves is handing us on-demand Megalodon hunting voyages through the Hunter's Call, because clearly having a giant shark randomly spawn on you when you're being broadsided by a galleon in the middle of a storm, while a kraken is trying to make your ship a new chew toy, and a skeleton sloop is circling you just to remind you that it's still somehow relevant, just wasn't enough. Now you can go out and actively hunt these oversized fish with a bit more intention. And to really help you with your impending doom, you'll get a special spyglass, perfect for spotting your death from miles away, so you can fully appreciate the moment when the Megalodon decides that you are its next meal. Just imagine the satisfaction of choosing your own misery, instead of having it forced on you by fate. But here's the kicker, these voyages do not include the Shrouded Ghost. Why? Well, it's a lie. It's as real as that once-in-a-lifetime treasure hunt that always ends in disappointment. Rare wants you to keep the thrill of finding the Shrouded Ghost in the open world, which of course means you'll never actually find it because it doesn't exist. And believe me, I talk from experience, because the Shrouded Ghost has spawned on me twice whilst live streaming. But it doesn't exist, so I didn't kill it. Oh, and by the way, these new voyages won't include the ancient Megalodons either. You still have to go the old-fashioned route for those. Raise a Hunter's Call emissary flag, get it to level 5, locate one on the map only to have it despawn by the time you get there. And lastly in this update, the hunting spear. The feedback was heard, and the dev team themselves admitted that this spear didn't really fit well with the rest of the game when it was first released. And well, they weren't wrong. It was pretty much the equivalent of carrying around a toothpick, but now they're actually trying to make it useful. So let's talk about what's changing. First up, the spear is no longer going to be a treasure item. Why? Well, because surprise, it didn't actually add anything to the treasure hunting experience. You dig up a chest and on the way would find a spear and think, great, a weapon that I'm probably not going to use. It didn't really fit the theme, and honestly, it was kind of a waste of deck space. But because it's not a treasure item, it now means you can dive with the spears. So that means now that you can collect more of them and use them on your travels, instead of leaving hunting spear poop circles everywhere in the ocean. Also, when you fire a spear from your cannon, it'll now cause more water to pour in through the enemy's ship before being removed, and it'll take longer to pull out for the enemy, which is great as it adds a little more impact, no pun intended, to firing the spear. Sure, it's not going to turn the cannon into some sort of minigun, but increasing the damage a hunting spear does on an enemy ship will have you encounter the hunting spear a little more often. And speaking of damage, the spear will now do significantly more damage to ancient and regular megalodons. For those of you who've tried to take down a meg with a spear before, you probably know how ineffective that was. It was like trying to poke a wall with a lollipop stick. But now, the spear is actually going to hurt. You're still not going to be one-shotting megs or anything, but this is certainly a step up from just tickling them a little bit. And now for the big one. The spear will one-shot a player at 100% health. I know, this is where things will get a little controversial. You're probably thinking, what? A one-shot weapon? Especially after the travesty which was the blunderbuss, which might I point out was changed because of how overpowered the grapple gun was. But then they nerfed the grapple gun, the blunderbuss is still a pile of shit. But before you lose it like I just did, let's take a step back. The spear is incredibly cumbersome. It's not a weapon you can just whip out and start taking down enemies with precision. It's slow, inaccurate, has awful range when thrown. It's an item you find in the world. It's not something you can equip by default. So yes, it can now one-shot a player, but good luck actually landing that shot. You're going to have to get up close and personal, which, let's be real, is a risky move with how many other pirates are running around with guns and cannons. The spear is not going to turn you into a one-man army. It's still a tricky, awkward weapon that's not easy to master. Honestly, I'm happy Rare is trying to give the spear some real utility now, before it was just there, like a weird, unnecessary item you'd forgotten about. It's nice to see they're not giving up on it, even though it's had a pretty rough start. Unlike the double-barrel pistol, of course, which is still about as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle. Anyway, lots of interesting things coming in this update. Please don't forget to leave your feedback down in the comments below, and I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. Don't forget to poke a thumbie and slap a subby if you want to, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Happy sailing! Borrs, 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 oh Borrs, oh Borrs, yeehaw! Gotta get them Borrs, you gotta get them Borrs, boy! Sharks, Megalodons,